Hey everybody, John Skiba here from the Arizona Consumer Law Group. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about judges. In the news right now, there is a lot about the nomination of a United States Supreme Court justice. And so the topic of judges is on a lot of people's mind. I want to talk about, though, in this video, a judge that will likely have a much more direct impact on your life, and that is the local justice of the peace. It's also election season here in Arizona, and so we're starting to see all these election signs pop up, many of them for the Justice of the Peace positions in the county. And so I wanted to talk about what the Justice of the Peace does, what may surprise you about the Justice of the Peace position in Arizona, and some questions you should be asking the candidates to determine if they're going to make a good judge in our community. Now, something that surprises a lot of people is that the Justice of the Peace, the judge that oversees a particular court, does not have to be an attorney. And in fact, they don't have to have any legal training whatsoever. I pulled the qualifications for a Justice of the Peace off of their website, and let me read them to you. The Justice of the Peace is elected to a 4-year term. They have to be 18 years old. They have to be an Arizona resident. They must be a qualified voter in the precinct in which the duties of the office will be performed. They have to be able to read and write English, and they don't need to be an attorney. So, and that's it. That's the only qualifications that are needed if you want to be a judge, a Justice of the Peace, more particularly here in Arizona. And so, as I go around town and I see all these signs, and I've been to the websites of some of the candidates, I see different topics and positions that they're putting out there. And what strikes me is a lot of the issues that these candidates bring up really have no direct bearing or impact on what it is that they're going to do on a day-to-day basis. For instance, I see Justice of the Peace candidates out there talking about their positions as to abortion or gun rights or interpretation of the Constitution. And while all of those things are super important and they will indirectly, I guess, bear on how a person just views the world, believe it or not, there's not very many abortion cases in the local justice courts. There's not any gun rights cases in the local justice courts. Those types of things are not handled in the local justice courts. The types of cases that are handled are things like eviction hearings, civil disputes between parties. There's a lot of debt collection type suits that are handled in the justice courts. Some domestic violence type cases. Then they also handle a lot of the civil traffic and the criminal traffic proceedings. There's also a small claims court division which handles anything less than $3,500. So those are the types of things, and those are the types of areas you ought to be directing your questions as to those potential candidates as far as what their position is on some of these more civil disputes, as far as evictions. How are they going to handle those types of things, and how are they going to impact the community? Because to me, as someone who practices in the justice courts in Arizona quite a bit, I think it's one of the most underappreciated courts as far as the volume of cases it handles and the direct impact it has on people's lives. You only have to go down and sit through one eviction calendar to be able to see how many people's lives are impacted by something like an eviction proceeding, or like what I do. I represent consumers in debt collection cases. Those types of things are very important, can have huge impact on someone's life, whether they win or lose those types of cases. So those are the kind of things that you really should be, if you're reaching out to these candidates, find out what some of their thoughts are on the types of cases they're actually going to be handling. Because some of these big, kind of more lofty platitude type things, they're not being dealt with in the justice courts. This is more of where the rubber meets the road. This is everyday law, and very important position in the community. It's important that you elect people who are going to be able to, protect your rights as a citizen of the state and as a citizen of the county, if you happen to find yourself in the justice court system. So if you want to learn more about what I do, like I said, I represent consumers in the justice courts who have been sued by debt collectors. You can head on over to consumerwarrior.com. We have all the information on our firm, as well as some videos, templates, and things that can help you if you're dealing with serious debt problems. Thanks for watching today.